Welcome back, guys. Thank you for clicking on this video. So first off, I just want to say that I have nothing against expensive outdoor clothing. If there's some hiking trousers out there that are pretty pricey that you want to go and purchase, then who am I to tell you otherwise? It's your hard-earned money. Go and buy whatever you want. But for today's video, what I want to focus on is the budget options of clothing. When I'm out in the outdoors camping or whatever, it's all budget clothing for me. Like, this sees me through all year round. I'm happy with it, so I don't feel any need to go and upgrade my clothing. So in today's video, what I want to do is give you a run through of all the clothing that I wear that, like I said, sees me through all year round. Without messing about, let's get straight into it, and I want to start off with clothing accessories. First up is a cap. It can be any old cap, it doesn't matter, but this is a vital piece of clothing for me that's going to serve a purpose all year round. So in the summertime, obviously it's going to help prevent that sunlight from getting in your eyes, but also I find it's especially useful in the rain. When you're hiking about, it really does help prevent that rain from getting on your face. I remember when me and two other mates done the West Highland Way, and we all coincidentally wore the same SNUGPAK rain poncho, but I think I was a step ahead on this situation and I paired mine up with a cap. And when the rain eventually came, when we were up on those hills, not only was I able to see better because of the cap, I found that I had like a little waterfall thing going on, so it was stopping the rain from getting on my face and dripping down in through my collar. So overall, I actually stayed a lot drier just by having a cap on, pairing it up with a rain poncho. After that trip, I've been sold on wearing a cap every time I go camping now. You'll not find many videos up on YouTube of me not wearing a cap. Also, in those colder months, it's going to help trap in the heat as well. Keep your head nice and warm. So no matter what the conditions are, Mother Nature's trying to chuck at you, a cap is going to be a welcome addition to any trip. Next up, we have a buff neck warmer. These go for about £10, so another very budget friendly option. And like the cap, one of these is going to help benefit you all year round. What I find I like the most about carrying one of these with me is it really helps regulate your body temperature better, which I'm sure we're all well aware of by now. When you're out hiking about, trying to get your body temperature just right is like a fine art. This will help really capture and trap in that heat on those colder hikes. Or say if you're just stopping off for a coffee break or something, you can chuck this on and it'll keep you nice and warm. It's made from merino wool as well, so arguably on those hotter days, it'll keep you cool as well. Now, I'm not 100% sure about that. When it does get hot, I just chuck mine off. Like today, I don't have it on, but a really good feature is obviously with a jacket or something, you're probably just gonna have to stop, put your bag down, get your jacket off, put it in your bag. But with this, with it being so small, it's so easy. You can carry on walking and just whip it off over your head and carry on hiking. So yeah, hot, cold temperatures, it's really good. Another feature as well with this, you can set it up in like a balaclava style mode. If you're going to sleep on a night and it's cold, it's going to add that warmth. But also in summertime, doing that same balaclava setup, it's going to help stop the bugs crawling all over your face and stuff. I found it very useful for that. If there's midges out and you don't have a midgie net or whatever, then one of these is ideal for that. Honestly, with one of these, creativity is your only limit. You can use them for a million different things. Say you want to filter some water, wouldn't be my first choice, but you can do in an emergency. Or you cut yourself, you need to wrap up your arm or something. Again, emergency situation, this will do the job for that as well. So the sky's the limit with one of these, and what, only £10? I think it's well worth carrying one of these about with you. And look, it's tiny, it weighs nothing as well, so aye, spot on. Next up, we have some cotton fingerless gloves. If you've watched my channel for a while now, you'll know I wear these all the time. They're spot on. You get them for what, £1 at your local shop, like, so proper bargain this item. With them having the fingers cut out and they being so small, they really help keep your dexterity when you're around camp. You tie your knots or you're cooking or even going in and out your bag with zips and all that. These gloves are spot on and it allows you to do everything you need to do around camp. What I also really like about them is, yes, they're made out of cotton, but they're really thin, so I find they dry out really quick as well. So if it's raining or if I'm hiking about in really muddy conditions, if they do get wet, then I know over time they will dry out, or a few minutes around the campfire and these are going to be bone dry as good as new again. In the colder months, yes, there is an argument that they're not going to protect you as good, but you can always maybe pair them up with another glove. But what I do is just, I'll have these on and then just stick my hands in my pockets when I'm not using them. Then I tend to be pretty good when it is colder outdoors. I find with all clothing gear, there's a balancing act between protection, comfort, and the freedom of movement to do things. And for me, these £1 gloves are a really good balancing act between all three of them points. That's all the clothing accessories done. Now, next up is outerwear. Now, I can't believe it. I had one job today, and that is to go out in the woods with all the clothing that I normally bring out with us, and I forgot there's one item, and that is my DECATHLON jacket. I'm sure there's plenty of footage out there of me wearing one, so I shouldn't have too much trouble of putting some B-roll over the top of this, showing it off. But yeah, this jacket is from DECATHLON. It's the synthetic version. Now, there's a lot of reviews on YouTube already about the down version, which again is really good quality, budget friendly, all those good things. But for me personally, I found that I like the synthetic version better. So the down version is £50 right now, and the synthetic version is only £30. Yes, it doesn't pack down as small, and it's a few grams. If you're into that sort of thing, it's a few grams heavier. But for me, that's ridiculous. It doesn't matter, it weighs the same. But the benefits and why I like the synthetic version better is if you do end up getting caught out in the rain, then it's not going to be as important to keep it dry. That synthetic material is going to do better in those situations than downwood. They do say it is water resistant, and I do find that to be true. A bit of light rain will just drip off. Like, it'll give you just enough time to get yourself to shut up and get under cover, I find. Also, you don't have to be messing about chucking golf balls in the washing machine or doing any of that crazy stuff that you would do with down clothing. This synthetic one, you just chuck in the wash, 30 degrees, and jobs are good in. Both versions state they'll get you down to -5 degrees Celsius, which in my opinion it's debatable. If you've got a good layering system going on and you're moving about, then fair enough, it probably will. But here in the UK, if it ever does get down to those temperatures, -5, I'm either tucked up in my sleeping bag or I'm around a nice warm campfire anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm never really out exposed to those kind of weathers. It's really affordable at only £30. It's lightweight, packs down nice and small as well, and it's worth bringing out on all occasions, even in summertime like today. I mean, I've not brung mine out, but I usually do, to be fair. It's nice to have along with you, especially in the mornings when the temperature drops and it is a little bit chilly. It does help getting out away from your sleeping bag that much easier if you've got one of these at hand just to chuck on. Underneath that jacket, I'll often wear a hoodie, common basic cotton hoodie. I know cotton's a little bit frowned upon in the outdoor community, but the way I see it is you've got your outer layers, you've got your under layers, so this cotton hoodie is never really getting too wet. Maybe the sleeves will get a little bit wet, or the tip of the hood might get a bit wet, but overall it tends to stay dry as long as the other items of clothing are doing their job, which they should. You shouldn't have too much of a problem with wearing a nice comfy cotton hoodie. Sometimes I might switch it out for fleece, but I do find that they're about the same when it comes to what temperature they'll get you down to. But I just like the hood of a hoodie, you know. It's adds some comfort factor and keeps your head nice and warm as well. So cotton hoodie, really nothing special. This is from TK Maxx. It says criminal damage on it. I don't know what that means. Is that a brand or something? I don't know, but that's what I wear, just a nice cotton hoodie. Underneath the hoodie, we have a nice synthetic sports top. This one's Nike, but I do have other different styles, like non-branded ones as well. They all work the same. So the way I see it with this is, obviously it's really good for wicking away sweat. That's what it's made for. It's a sports top. But if you are delayering, you're taking off your jacket and your hoodie or whatever, when you get to this stage, it's probably a nice day like it is today, so you want something really breathable and something that's going to let the air in and cool you down. And to be honest, I've been excited to get to this stage of the video because it is canny hot out here. I've been sweating like in that hoodie, so nice breathable sports top. Any old sports top will do the job. It doesn't have to be a branded one. As long as it's that synthetic material, it's going to get the job done. I mean, I've just got some plain black ones from Amazon. They're like packs of 4 for what, £15 or something, I don't know, but they're cheap, they're everywhere, very accessible, very budget friendly. If we are into those winter months and it's a bit colder outside, I will pair the sports top up with a synthetic base layer. This one's specifically from Boohoo Man, I think it's called, and at the time of making this video they're going for £12.60 I believe, which in my opinion it's an absolute bargain. So when we get down to these base layers, I tend to find that a lot of people opt for the merino wool or the wool versions, which nothing against them, they are fantastic items of clothing, but I just find I get along better with these. They're more comfortable, I think, and I imagine you'll really struggle to find a wool base layer for £12.60 like, so I go for this. I do have a wool version, but honestly I prefer this more. And the key is with going budget, and even if you're not going budget, it all applies with clothing, that you need to have a good layering system. So if you've got all the items we talked about before and then you've got this on, yes, this directly might not provide much warmth, but adding all your layers on top, it's going to really help you to stay warm, and then you can just take them off and on as you need to. Right, okay, that's the top half done, so moving on down, and the inspiration to this whole video, this next item of clothing, which is my ADIDAS trackie bottoms. I've had a few comments on these on previous videos, nothing bad, just people mentioning them, but honestly I absolutely love these. They're so comfortable, it's ridiculous. Now people might come in, have a look at this outdoor channel and I'm hiking about all the time in my ADIDAS trackie bottoms, and I think I'm a bit of a dafty, but honestly the comfort factor you get from these and the price of them as well, they're well in that budget friendly range compared to other hiking trousers that I refuse to stop wearing them. Like, they're so comfortable. So to be completely transparent and as open as I can, yes, I'm getting that comfort factor like I said, but in the colder months they're obviously not going to keep you as warm, which we'll get onto in a second. I'll layer them up with some long johns. Also in the summertime they are really thin, so then bugs can still creep in and bite your legs or whatever. So yeah, there's some downsides to it, but overall I think they look pretty cool, and maximum comfort from these, whether you're hiking about or sitting around camp. Budget friendly, so you're not too bothered if they get snagged on a branch or they get the odd burn hole in as well. I've had them for 2 years straight, they've served me really well, so yeah, spot on. I'm going to continue wearing them because I love them. Underneath the ADIDAS, if we are into those colder months, I'll pair them up with a pair of long johns. Now these are merino wool, unlike the base layer top. These are merino wool, they're from Mountain Warehouse, and at the time of this video they're £25, which I think is definitely still budget friendly when you're going into all the wool, merino wool category of clothing. I bought them a while ago, they fit pretty comfortable, I'm happy with them, and yeah, they've done the job really well. With the ADIDAS I can pair them up, it's going to stop them bugs getting in then. I don't often feel like I need to cover my legs for extra protection in the cold. I'm moving about or I'm sat around a campfire, so I tend to be pretty good. But what I will use these for are sleeping in. It's really good to get out of your day clothes and into something nice and comfortable, and these do the job spot on. £25 for some merino wool, long johns, Mountain Warehouse, like I said, you can't go wrong. Now next up we're going on to the feet, and this is where I have to admit I do cheat a little bit here, but considering all the other items of clothing are really budget friendly, this is an area where I feel like it is actually quite important to splash out a bit more and get yourself a good quality pair of boots. So the boots that I decided to go for are the SCARPA TERRA GTX. They go for about £130, which, like I said, it is probably crossing over that budget line, but these are the first proper pair of hiking boots that I've ever bought, and they're still going strong to this day, so I've definitely had a lot of good use out of them. They've held up, so they are making that money back. Like, at the end of the day, the boots on the ground are what are going to take the most punishment when you're in the outdoors. So what I've done is I've saved in other areas so I can splash out and spend on a nice pair of boots. So because this is a budget style video, and to keep it budget friendly, there might be people coming in and watching this who are just getting into camping in the outdoors and don't want to fully commit to buying some expensive boots, which I completely understand, and I think it's a sensible option as well. So what I would probably suggest is having a look at some surplus military boots. I've had a few mates that have used them in the past and have said good stuff about them. At the end of the day, you're still getting a really well-made, quality, rugged, waterproof boot just for a fraction of the cost. It's not something I've had personal experience with myself. Like I said, these are my first boots and I've never needed to go for any others, but when these do give in, that is probably a route that I'll go down myself as well. So surplus military boots might be worth having a look at as well for that budget option. And as well, if you're out in those really wet conditions for a long period of time, no matter what boot you have on your feet, they're going to get wet through. There's a massive hole in the top. It's going to find a way, and like, it's inevitable. So moving on, what I'd pair up my boots with is some wool socks. So my favorite pair, if you're in the UK, they're from Go Outdoors. They're called BRIDGEDALE's mid-layer wool sock. They're about 18 to 20 pound, which I think is a fair price. The wool sock, and it's an area, again, I don't want to compromise with my feet and that, so having them wool, when your boot eventually does soak through, you've got your wool sock there to keep your feet warm still. These ones that I've got, I've had for a couple of years. They're still going strong. There's a little burn hole in the top of them, but that is user error. There's nothing wrong with the actual socks, like they've held up really well. 18 to 20 pound, but I think in the long run you're definitely still going to get your money's worth. Right, last category for today's video, and that is waterproofs. So this is an area that I have struggled with for so long, ever since I started doing all this type of stuff. I've never been able to commit to buying an expensive pair of waterproofs, and I still haven't. The thing that I found works the best, which was the first waterproof item that I bought, was, I said it at the beginning of the video, is the SNUGPAK rain poncho. It's really big, you can just chuck it over, it goes over your bag as well, so any flash rainstorms you can easily chuck it on over all your gear. Nice and simple. It stood the test of time as well. I've had it for a while and it's still not leaking in any of that rain, but there are some cons to it, so I've not found the perfect waterproof yet. The cons are it's really big and baggy, so if you're around camp and you're trying to do stuff, you might trip over it a little bit or might get in the way. It's obviously not 100% waterproof because it's leaving the bottom half of your legs exposed. I've never had too much of a problem with this. I just accept that they are going to get wet. As long as my core body is good, then I'm happy with that. But anyways, this is where I turn to you guys and I want your recommendations. Is it even a thing? Is there some good quality budget waterproof gear out there that I need to invest in? Please let me know in the comment section below. So to sum up this video, please do not get discouraged by not having all this top branded outdoor clothing that you might see other people wear. You really don't need it. I've been spot on throughout my time in the outdoors with all this budget stuff. So yeah, don't let that stop you from going out and enjoying nature. All you need is a pair of ADIDAS trackie bottoms and a little daft cap and you're good to go. So go out, enjoy yourself, have some fun. Don't worry too much about it. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.